Okay. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. Opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. Great. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm singing and dancing with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm singing and dancing with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm singing and dancing with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I can't hate my neighbor with my mind stayed on spirit. I can't hate my neighbor with my mind stayed on spirit. I can't hate my neighbor with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Let's give these musicians some love. Margot Buchanan on vocals, Teddy Ziskin on keyboards. And ahava is the Hebrew word for love. And we gather together each Sunday morning to remember that love is always the answer. I am Nancy Eisen, your host for today, and welcome everyone to Ahava. We are an open-hearted community committed to providing a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are and whoever you love, this is a safe place for you and you are welcome here. You know, we say community a lot around here, and community is important to me, and I hope to you. A community is a place where you walk in and you feel welcome and you see your friends and those people that you love and that you know love you. And we take care of each other. We have a community care program run by Reverend Jenna Evergreen that sometimes people need food or rides or just a phone call. And so if you would be willing to help out with that, with just caring for one another, please see Reverend Jenna. If you are viewing us on live stream, please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're tuning in from. And if you're in the room, you might want to take out your phone and take pictures or videos of something that you see that you like. Just do remember to mute your phone first. And if you're joining us for the first time, we welcome you very much. We hope you got a connection card when you came in the front door. And if you will please just fill that out and put it in the basket when it goes around later. We would love to send you our weekly e-newsletter. We are so grateful for the many people that keep this center up and running on Sunday morning and throughout the week. We love our volunteers, so let's give them a round of applause. And if you would like to get more involved, please see one of the core council members, myself, I'm one, and we will put you to work. So now I invite you to put your hands over your heart if that's comfortable for you, and look at someone, turn to someone, and say, "Thank you for being a reflection of me." Thank you, Margot. Thank you. We have a fabulous vision here. If you will please repeat after me. We are an inclusive community. Committed to global transformation. Through personal evolution. And our purpose, say this one with me: wake up, step up, and make a difference. And our affirmation, if you'll please repeat this after me, please. I face fear with fierce clarity and unwavering faith.
I face fear with fierce clarity and unwavering faith.
I don't know about that fierce, but I'll just let it ride for now. Maybe courageous clarity. Maybe Bob will have something to say about that later. And now I invite you to take a deep breath and turn within as we move into our centering song and prayer with practitioner Louise Talon.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself.
So just take that moment to anchor into oneness, to anchor into the knowingness that indeed there is only one, knowing that whatever I call it, it is that universal cosmic isness that is in, through, and as everything that exists. And I know it in this moment as love, as wholeness, as clarity, as order, knowing that whatever is the truth of the one is the truth as me and is the truth as each beloved hearing my voice. And so knowing this truth, I bless our time together. I bless the words of our minister, Reverend Dr. Bob Deen. I bless the hands and hearts of all those who have come together to unleash the sparks of holiness in this place, where I know that we come here not to get anything, but to simply behold one another as that light of the divine, knowing that we are each the divine speaking to the divine hearing the divine, that we simply rest into the goodness and grace of the one, and I allow that to be thy saying, and so it is.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself.
Good morning. Today's reading is from the Science of Mind point of view. In The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes says, if anyone should ask whether or not the divine has any intention for them, the answer would be that the only intention, if each person is truly an individual, would be to allow the individual the freedom to discover themselves. From a science of mind perspective, fear is not to be seen as an obstacle, but as a messenger, guiding us towards fierce clarity about who we are and what deeply matters to us. As Ernest Holmes reminds us, if anyone should ask whether or not the divine has any intention for them, the answer would be that the only intention, if each person is truly an individual, would be to allow the individual the freedom to discover themselves. Holding this truth, we are called to meet fear not with avoidance, but with an unwavering presence and curiosity. When we approach fear with fierce clarity, peering courageously into the source of our anxieties, we often find that fear is energy in motion, a signpost pointing us toward transformation and creative possibility Instead of shrinking from discomfort, we allow its intensity to bring about our true priorities into sharp focus, illuminating where our next growth awaits. By regarding fear as a threshold rather than a blockade, its presence becomes a catalyst. It sharpens our attention and marks the edges of our becoming. It is precisely at these boundaries where unease is greatest that our most profound evolution is possible. If we let fear awaken us rather than close us down, it can ignite our highest aspirations. In this way, fear transforms from foe to fierce guide, catalyzing clarity and inviting us to discover the fullness of who we are meant to be.
Starlight, you guide the sailors who are lost at sea. You shine your light of freedom on those who are not free. Kings and fools walked over sands, following your glow. I know you're there, so my prayer is, shine your light below. I've changed, I am not the person that I used to be. Now my eyes are open, I have new clarity. Letting go of playing safe, mourning what once was. My time is now, it's mine alone. I'm ready to be me, my true north, my true north. Guide me as I find my way, find my own true north. I've been a weary traveler on a broken road. Now my inner compass shows me where to go. I've reached a place of trust. I know I'm answering the call. The very things I've needed have been with me all along.
Testing, 1, 2. There I am. Okay, good. You can hear me. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You're that opportunity. So am I, and so it is. For most of my early life in this teaching, I heard that every Sunday when my teacher would get up to speak. He started every talk, every Sunday with that phrase. It has stuck, and it has stayed with me, and it always will, and I keep liking to use it with you guys because I think it says so much. We are free to create our lives according to our best idea of that. Another favorite phrase I heard from an early minister, a minister who was around when I first got into this teaching, and it still rings in my ears, is if your palms aren't sweating, your dream's not big enough. That was, and of course the name just went right out of my head, but it'll come back. She was an amazing, amazing teacher. Recently went on to the other side, and now she's heckling me from there because she was one of those people who always had that truth to kind of cut through. And I wasn't going to talk about fierceness. Thank you, Nancy. However, I think I have to say something about fierceness. The fierceness of reality and truth, sometimes there has to be a fierceness to it in order to cut through the stuff that we are so surrounded by. When I'm in fear, it takes some fierceness in me to move past that and into that and through that into something different, into that greater knowing, to that greater clarity. So fierceness for me is a good word. You ever done that whistling in the dark thing? You remember? You ever heard of that? Anybody else? You know, whistling in the dark is like when, well, my first experience of it when I was a little kid, we lived about 4 blocks from the movie theater. And for 20 cents, we could go to the movies, and my mother was quite happy to let the movies entertain us in an evening while she was resting up from a hard day's work. So we often went, my sister and I, but also I went. But I went by myself usually to the horror movies. And that 4 blocks from that theater back home with 2 street lights in a small town without much ground cover, or ground light rather, was horrifying. It was full of every kind of monster you can think of and that I could think of. And one of the things I would do is I would sing or I would whistle. Because if I could do that, maybe the goblins would think that I wasn't scared. And it was a way of kind of going, I'm not as scared of you. Truth is, I was terrified. And ran usually the most of that second half of the trip. The first half I was pretty brave, and then the second half, the last 2 blocks, flat out, fast as I could go. And I was not a great runner because I was a little chubby kid. But enough of that nonsense. What is important to recognize is what this reading said, and what I think is I've been presenting the Fear to Faith workshop here repeatedly to you guys. That's that whole idea of taking your fear not as something to get rid of and walk away from, but an invitation into knowing something more. And what we do in the Fear to Faith workshop is we take a look. What is it that is stirring us up? And what is our fantasy of the very worst possible thing that could happen? Well, nobody wants to think about that too much. So before we do that, then we go to, but what is the best thing that will happen? If the thing you're worried about went to the very opposite, to the most wonderful possible possibility, what would it be? And what's the God word that goes with that? What's the ultimate word? Is it love? Is it power? Is it truth? Is it wholeness? One of my favorites. Nothing broken, nothing missing. Wholeness. We're all whole already. Nothing broken, nothing missing. All your parts are there. You may not be aware of them, but all of them are there. And then when you get a hold of that, then we dive into what is the real fear, what are you terrified of? Because if you have that light and that idea, you can go there and not be as afraid. And then you find out from that, what's the false idea behind it? You know, we talked about this last week. The choo-choo train of experience starts with a belief system, goes to a feeling, from feeling to experience, and experience to hopefully learning something new and going back and starting over with a new belief. That's what we teach in this teaching all the time. Yeah. So fear can be our teacher. We can ask ourselves things like, what part of me feels threatened right now? What's the basic need that I'm afraid is being challenged right now with some fear that's going on? Am I afraid I'm going to lose love? Am I afraid I won't be cared for? What are the basic fears? You know, the startle reflex is one of the first things we experience when we're born. And it's that feeling of going from being held, surrounded, fed through our belly buttons, all of that good stuff, and then suddenly we're pulled out, we're slapped on the butt, and then it feels like we might fall. And that startle reflex is that first experience of fear. So we learn fear has a lot to do with our concern that something that we need and require for life is going to be threatened. And you know, anger, which we talked about last week, is the overlay of fear, usually. Our anger anger is such a great thing whenever it keeps us away from our fear, right? I'd rather be mad at you than afraid of you. And I'll get mad at you rather than let you know how important you are to me. And I don't usually do that, but when I'm not in my right mind. That's right, the clarity when it comes in that has to cut through the anger, the fear, to the truth of what is my real need in this situation. What am I willing to fiercely face about myself? And 9 times out of 10, it comes back to a belief. Holmes says this in another quote, that our fear is most often about a fear of being separate or separated. And when we're into fear, we are already believing we're separate and separated. Because if you know what we teach and talk all the time, that there's only one power, and that power is infinite mind, and everything in it is available to you always, in every moment, in every place, in every time. When we know and we know that, how can we be afraid of anything? Right? But we don't. Because we are bombarded constantly with all kinds of stuff about separation. We now live in a world of algorithms that are built on the idea that if you can scare us and if you can piss us off, make us angry, you'll come back and look at it again. And so we get the roll, and it figures out. If you're a Zoomer or you're on Facebook a lot or any of those things, the algorithm figures out what makes you mad or what scares you. And then it gives you more of it. And you look at it, and we think, well, if we look at it, maybe it won't happen. So we look at it again, and then we feel scared, and we get stimulated, and we look at it again and again. And first thing you know, we're caught in this loop of we're separate. And the world is a scary place. And it's not for us, it's against us. Anybody ever feel that? Just me? Well, I do when I get lost in that stuff from out there. And it takes a fierce willingness to look through and past that to what we know to be the truth. There's only one power. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That life is your life now. Oh, yeah, Bob, but you just don't get it. You don't know what I'm living with every day. I ain't talking about old what's-his-name sitting next to you. I'm talking about yourself, all these thoughts and feelings and things that happen in the world. Well, you know what? I do know, because I live with it too. The only difference between you and me, I studied this and you pay me so I can study it more and get up here and talk to you. I mean, how cool is that, you know? It's a job where I get to read books and study and come tell people what I learned. And that's all this is about. Otherwise, we are the same spiritual beings on exactly the same level, having exactly the same kinds of experiences, with the same power available to us to live differently if we choose. Always there. So we ask ourselves those questions like, what is the truth trying to emerge in my fear? I've had a lifelong back and forth fear of heights. Get dizzy, get down on my knees, couldn't go out on a ledge or any of that, terrified. And my fear was, of course, splattering. I mean, that was easy. My fear is splattering. I don't think that's a bad fear. I think it's realistic. It isn't realistic, though, when you're on something that is solid and well built and been there forever. And so if I'm on a mountainside, I'm not afraid. If I'm on a bridge, I have a little more. Crossed the bridge the other night, coming back across Highway 62 and 44, one of those, the curving bridge, the Powell Bridge, I think it's called. And you look over the side, and it's a long way down to that water. And I just looked once, and then I looked straight ahead all the way across. And it's an old fear that kicks up in me that I don't really have. But I kept knowing, absolutely knowing, this bridge has been here forever. It's not going to fall today. I'm not going to die this way. No problem. And I went on across it. I found my faith in the midst of the fear. But that fear is just pointing to the idea that there's some trust here about what people build that I need to work on. Maybe I don't always trust others as much as I could and should. So it gives me an idea of where I need to grow. So So one of the problems with whistling in the dark and trying to push this fear away is we try to block it out and cover it over. Then we lose the value of what we have to learn. And the thing I've learned about fear and about anger is if I block it, shut it down, stuff it, put it away, and think I'm all fine, it's going to sneak up on me at some point where I never imagined. And then you're going, oh my gosh, where'd that come from? So you might as well dive into it when you know it's there. Dive to the bottom of it. Another minister used to talk about the idea that if you fall in a well and you find yourself at the bottom and you just can't get out and you can't find the ideas to help you climb out and you just can't feel better about something, quit trying to climb out and dive to the bottom. Dive to the bottom of the well. Dive down to that stuff inside of you that's icky, that you don't want to look at, because that's where the trap door is that takes you out. Because there's nothing we need to fear about facing any part of ourselves or anyone else. We are eternal beings. We are part of a divine, infinite consciousness that's always available to protect and be with us. Yeah, hang on to that. Go with it. See, uncertainty is another place that just reveals that deeper place of growth, that deeper awareness. So when you find yourself with some of that, look at it. Go clearer. Go deeper. Okay, so one of the areas that I know people are afraid about in our culture right now, many people are, maybe none of you are, is money. Anybody else scared about the economy? Anybody else get scared about, oh my God, am I going to live as long as my retirement, or am I going to live longer than I have retirement? And what do I do if that happens? My mom was always afraid about that. And bless her dear, beloved soul. The month the money ran out, she ran out. And I'm not sure but what that wasn't planned on her part, that she just wasn't going to be around to deal with having to be dependent on anybody but herself. And bless her. I got to be there and send her on her way. Not wanting to by any means. So we all have these fears about money. I want to talk about that a little bit. See, we get scared there's not going to be enough. Or we get afraid that we don't have enough. And we live in a culture that tells us you're not going to have enough. How many people have a little secret thing in your mind about resenting the heck out of the billionaires that are stealing all our money? Anybody seen that? Anybody see that online? Yeah, I see some hands. Oh, it's okay. Keep those hands up. The buses will wait. So the whole idea of that is false. It's fake. And it may be that we live in a system right now that is pulling money in one direction or another. But I bet every one of you who get angry about that also go on the internet, which is what pays for those billionaires. Right? You buy batteries. That pays for the billionaires. It pays them. They were just smart enough to channel that money where it goes. Now, I'm saying you and I have the same power within us they have. There's a teaching in our teaching that says, if one person can do it, then anyone can do it, because we all have the same power available to us. Now, we may not have the outward systems, we may not have learned how, we may not have the knowledge, we may not have the resources to begin with that some of these folks have. But if we focus on what we don't have because of them, then we're putting ourselves in a victim role. And when we do that, we've lost the ball game. You cannot build a life from a victim place. You could only build a life from a victor place. And you have to dive into that victimhood deep enough to see it for what it is, which is false ideas appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You've heard of that one before? Yeah? Yeah, that's one. There's some others. How about fabulous energy allow awakening and awakening reality? Yeah. Or fuel energy activating recognition. Yeah. See, we get scared about money, but the truth is, you can manifest money if you get your mind turned around. It may not be billions, but it might be what you need in the moment. You might have all you need at the moment. A couple of weeks ago, I was down in Mexico for the Convention of the Americas, and had a great time with a room right next to Sunny's, so we could hear each other's nonsense through the walls, and I swear she was talking about me all the time. But anyway, I had a great time. But I was sitting with a group, and we were talking about prosperity just among us. Some ministers and some practitioners and some folks who were just folks who didn't have any of those titles, but they were equal with us, of course. And one of the people there was our translator. We had a translator there who, whatever language was being spoken in the microphone, Spanish or English, those were the only two, she would translate the other one into the ears of all of the rest of us that didn't understand. I mean, it was amazing. She did that back and forth translation through the entire conference, tirelessly. And she was sitting in our group, and she was talking about some of her struggles living in Mexico and some of the problems with the economy down there. And this whole idea of compassion started to build in the group. And we suddenly said, well, let us help you. And we all had these symbolic things we've been carrying around giving each other through the whole conference. So we gave her all play money, billions of dollars of play money. And she got excited. And then somebody else pulled out a $10 bill and handed it to her, and she got even more excited. And so we all ended up giving her a tip and a contribution, but it was part of this whole idea of the flow and circulation of life and the goodness of life. And we were feeling so excited and good, and it broke up, and I started walking away. And a person who had not been anywhere in the around, they just walked into the convention, walked up to me and handed me an envelope and walked away. And I looked at the envelope and went, what? I opened it up, and it was pesos, up at the equivalent of $50. This is someone I had done treatment for a month before, who happened to be at the conference at the same time. But the timing was so impeccable and incredible that got handed to me at that time. You cannot outgive Spirit. You can't outgive God. The best way to get over your fear of money, of not having enough, is to give some. Now, where's Jenna? Jenna, are you here? There you are. Get the baskets, would you? Remember? Okay. I just woke her up. There we go. Okay. So can we do 2 baskets? Because that's going to take a long time if you leave it that way. Thank you. Get 2 people. So I have a present for you. I told you last week I had a present for you. I got a present for you. So as the baskets, don't hand it to them. Let them pull one out. Jetta, hello. Don't hand it to them. Let them pull one out. Everybody pull one out. Okay. Use your left hand. It'll be your message for the day. And once we get them all out, we'll pass it on around. Or I'll keep talking. Meanwhile, those of you online know that we are about to experience a prosperity explosion here at Ahava, and you get to be part of it. This is a gift because I know when you give, you receive, and when you receive, you give, and if you keep that going, the part of it you have control over is not the receiving. The part you have control over is the giving. So step through your fear and give. And so you're going to receive something now, and what I want to challenge you to consider doing is either give it here. You can throw it right back in the offering plate if you want to. But I challenge you, instead of that, take it home with you. If there's somebody or something or some issue or some group that you have a great deal of compassion or passion about that you want to give to, use this to give to that. It might be one of your relatives. Who knows? So, you just make sure, and if you do that, pay attention to what comes back to you, because it's currency. It's a current that flows and flows in a circle. You give out, you receive. You give, you receive. Now, does that take care of the fear? It took care of my fear. I took a big risk being down there and spending a lot of money. I wasn't sure I could do it. I did. I got a little bit of a discount because I got to speak down there. But you know what? I was so excited about it, I already paid for next year. Why not? Because I know I can't give more than I can receive. It ain't going to happen. Now, I'm not telling you to go empty your bank accounts and be unreasonable. I'm talking about giving as you can do so freely and easily. So take this, put it to work somewhere in the world, and if it comes back to you in some way, bring it back and share it here. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Share it wherever. Because this is a free gift. This is not anything other than that. Because what I want you to get is the idea that there is nothing blocking your freedom to receive. You probably didn't expect to get money when you came today. Nothing blocking that. And there's nothing keeping you from giving whatever small amount you can, in order then to keep that circulation going. Because when we realize we are in the circulation and the flow, the rest is easy. And that is true whether we're talking money, which money is God in action, whether we're talking love, relationships, caring for other people, caring for each other, caring for ourselves. I love what Nancy said at the beginning, that we are a community. We take care of each other. We protect and love and care for and challenge each other to growth. It's all rich and good and wonderful. Circulate, circulate, circulate. Yeah. So fear is the doorway to the truth. There's nothing about God I would be afraid of. So there's nothing about myself or you or anyone else I have any reason to fear. But when fear shows up, it's an invitation. Dive in, find out what there is to learn from it, and get ready for the next chapter, because there'll be another one after that one as we continue to refine and grow. See, I know you, and I know you well enough to know. I know who each one of you are. I know who you are. I really know who you are. You are expressions of the divine. You are love personified. You are the life of God showing up in a particular way. You may be God's opportunity to have a good time. You may be God's opportunity to experience growth. Whatever you are, whoever you are, you are the divine. Therefore, you are fully supported. So I know you are wonderful, and so am I, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So let's go into a bit of a meditation and treatment, mostly treatment. Nice deep breath, breathing in, breathing out. Allowing yourself to feel that gift that love that Spirit has given you in a tangible way that is concrete and real, and you can touch it and feel it in your hands. That is God in action. That is Spirit in action. And as you receive it, and as you feel it, and as you're aware of it, know that you are always supported. Whatever fear you have about that, dig deeper and recognize underneath and behind it is a fierce awareness that God is always for you. Nothing is done to you, it is done for you. To provide growth, to provide greater joy, love, peace, harmony, and freedom. And so we recognize that we live in this amazing universe that responds to us according to our beliefs, because we are in it, we are it, and it is the point of reality that in which we live and become aware of life. And all it asks of us is to live. So I open my heart to the awareness that I'm God's unique something different. And I embrace myself, and I embrace the God in others, and I see them freely and easily. I look past anything else. I have a fierce commitment to seeing the Spirit in everyone. And as I do that, I only know joy. Joy is my world. Joy is my way. Peace and joy and harmony. I see it in the plants, the animals, the rocks, the trees, and everything. This power that is creating and creating and creating. So as I simply let that awareness soak in, I stand and sit and feel such gratitude. Gratitude to be alive, gratitude to be part of this wonderful teaching. Gratitude to be in the flow of all life. To be in the circuit of giving, receiving, creating, receiving. And as I celebrate the cycle with gratitude and ease, I can let this be. I can let it be so. As I let the love flow over and through and around me and all of us. And so it is.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Are we repeating the love? Sure. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let it be.
Thank you, thank you. And it is now time for our conscious giving. We give from our fullness, knowing that we always have enough. There is always enough. There is no lack. There is no lack in God, and there is no lack in us. The Core Council will pass the baskets in the room, and if you would prefer to give online or electronically, there are several ways to do that. You can go to our website, ahavacenter.net, and click the Give tab. You can text the word GIVE to 859-209-6996, or you can mail your gift here to 168 Burt Road in Lexington, 40503. And if you will repeat after me, please, we'll say our offering affirmation. Divine love as me.
Divine love as me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I have.
Blesses and multiplies all that I have.
All that I give and all that I receive.
All that I give and all that I receive.
I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava.
I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava.
Knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
Knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
And so it is. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Grateful.
So now let me tell you what's going on around here. Dr. Bob Deen is our interim minister. He's here 2 Sundays a month while we search for a permanent minister. So we're so grateful to have him. Thank you. He is holding a workshop after service today on spiritual mind treatment. You'll hear him talk about treatment and treat for this and treat for that, and it's also called affirmative prayer, but as he didn't exactly say this, I'm going to paraphrase. He says it's bigger than prayer. So please stay after service for that. We'll have a snack and then come back in here. It's a love offering basis, so that's going on today. And then next week, we have Mary Knight as our guest speaker. She will be talking about the power of sharing our stories. And after her talk on Sunday morning, she will be holding a community building storytelling circle entitled Facing Our Fears. We will be encouraged to share a time when we felt a fear and did it anyway. Or didn't. Okay, thank you. So that should be fun. Let's all show up for that. And then on August the 22nd, we have our next Gourmet for God at the home of Marilyn Stafford and Jim Henderson. Aaron Barnhill and David Howes and Deborah Feinsod are co-hosting that. It's called the Discriminating Palate. There will be taste testing games and prizes, plus a delicious meal. So Jim and Marilyn put on the best games. So let's all plan to attend. Then that Sunday, on August the 23rd, Aaron English will be here from Nashville. He is a singer, songwriter, humanitarian activist. He's been here before, and we really like him and appreciate the good he's doing in the world. And August will close out with Reverend Ramisi Umandavi joining us, coming back. And then the next Sunday, September 6th, Amy Steinberg will be here. So we've got a lot going on, y'all. We're doing great. So let's close it up with our benediction. If you will please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
And life is in my affairs.
And life is in my affairs.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
And I share it. Just the way it appears.
Just the way it appears.
And just the way it appears not.
And just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
We do not have anybody in prayer corner today. Thank you, Carol.
Jen,
Okay, Jenna will be in the prayer corner.
super. Jenna will be in the prayer corner. There you go. How's that? Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Now thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing 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 day. Thank you, everybody. The rhythm was a little bit, you play it different.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure what key you were going to do it in, so I just picked D major because you just sent me D major last time, so maybe it's got to be okay.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being flexible.
Yeah.
We made it through all these technical difficulties, so that's great.
Yeah.